Hi, this is Andy Cruz, and this is an instructional video on how to fill out the Uniform Residential Loan Application. We also call this the 1003. So you hear us call this the loan application, the loan app, the 1003. The next minute and a half or so is going to be how to fill this out. At the very top, you'll see where it says borrower and co-borrower. If there is both, you need to both sign the top here. You will fill out section 1, type of mortgage and terms of loans. It's already pre-selected as conventional. However, if you're doing a VA financing application or an FHA financing, go ahead and mark that. Here's where we put the loan amount that you're looking to obtain. Interest rate we fill in later. This is because the market's changing daily, and at the time you apply, we don't know exactly when you're going to close, so the rate can fluctuate. We'll talk about more of that during our appointment. The next thing is the subject property, section 2, property information and purpose of loan. Well, if you're buying a property, then you leave this blank since we don't know yet exactly which place you're going to buy. If you're refinancing, you need to include the address and property information of the property you are refinancing. Right down here where it says purpose of loan, please check whether it's a purchase, refinance. We're currently not doing construction loans, so it's either going to be one of these two, either purchase or refinance. And let us know if the property will be your primary residence, if it's a secondary residence, or if this is an investment property. Scroll down to section 3 where it says borrower information. Each of these highlighted areas is information that we're required to have in order to process your loan application. Full legal name that's listed on your Social Security card, your actual Social Security number, home phone, and date of birth. Also indicate your years of school. High school is considered the first 12 years of your education, so add that to any advanced schooling that you have past high school. Next, mark whether you're married, unmarried, or separated. If you have dependents, you need to please list how many dependents you have and also their ages. List your present address and whether you own or rent that place and for how long. By law, we're required to have 24 months of living history. So if you have been staying at a place for less than 24 months, we'll need to have the addresses for each of the places you've lived at during that time. If there's a co-borrower on the application, then you need to go ahead and put their information as well on the right-hand column of this. Moving on to page 2, we get to employment information. Please complete this in its entirety. Name and address of employer, how long you've been on this job, and how many years you've been in this line of work. Again, we need 24 months of employment history in this application. So if you've been working at a place less than 24 months, we'll need to know your previous employers as well. If there are any gaps in the dates of your employment, then we'll have to explain that with a letter of explanation down the road. Again, if there's a co-borrower, please fill out that information for the co-borrower as well. Towards the bottom of this page, you see monthly income and combined housing expense information. In this area, it's really important to indicate all the different types of income that you have, whether it's base salary, it's hourly income, if it's sales and commission, if you get bonuses, quarterly bonuses, annual bonuses, if you have rental income, put that there as well. If you're military and you receive BAH and BAS or special hazard pay or overseas pay, all those types need to be included here. On the right-hand side, you see the monthly housing expense. If you're currently renting, you'll put that information here in the line that says rent. If you currently own a home which you're refinancing, you're going to put down your current mortgage payment for the first. If you have a second, list that as well. List your insurance expense, taxes, any mortgage insurance if you have it, and HOA dues. Moving on to the third page, this is called section 6, assets and liabilities, and this is where you're going to list any checking and savings accounts here along the left in highlighted yellow. Also, if you have any cash value for life insurance, you list that here. Any other assets you have, such as retirement accounts, IRA, 401k, any other cash you have held somewhere else, you want to go ahead and list those there. These are going to be things that you're going to want to document. So if there are accounts that you have the actual paper statements to or digital statements online, you're going to want to make sure to include those with the loan application as well. On the right-hand side, this liabilities section, we will complete when your credit is run. This side is populated by the credit report and what the credit bureaus have on file for you regarding your monthly obligations for debt repayment. Down here at the bottom is a real important part called Schedule of Real Estate Owned. If you own other properties, it's important for us to have the address of that property, the present market value, how much you owe on the property still, and how much rent you're receiving on it. We look at that compared to the mortgage payments you make and the other monthly expenses such as insurance, taxes, maintenance, HOA, to identify what that net rental income is. Moving on to the final page of the loan application, this is where you identify yes or no to what they call declarations. You see there are a number of questions here on the left-hand side, and then for the borrower and the co-borrower, you both have to say yes or no to these questions. At the bottom, there's a signature for the borrower and co-borrower if there is one. And then also here at the bottom where it says information for government monitoring purposes, go ahead and check the appropriate boxes for ethnicity, race, and sex. And then when that is complete, you can send the loan application back to us in its entirety. What's really important, I just wanted to mention that it's real important that you complete this as best to your ability as possible. We won't know all of this information about you, so the more you tell us, the easier it is for us to ascertain where you're at and what options may be available to you. It's really important to include if you have child support or you pay alimony, please write as legibly as possible. And if you have any questions, of course, please email us or give us a call. This concludes the instructional video on filling out the Uniform Residential Loan Application, also known as the 1003.